Good Sunday morning, meteorologist Rachel Coulter here with a first alert weather day update. It is active out there, and that's going to be the case today. So just wanted to give you a quick update for those early morning hours. Temperatures on either side of the freezing mark right now in the mountains, and that's why we have a wintry mix, likely mostly freezing rain, even in Blowing Rock, seeing some of that ice accumulate on power lines and tree branches on those elevated surfaces. So please be cautious heading out the road in that way. We're going to have a live report from Ron Lee out in the field, kind of giving us an update in terms of what the roads are looking like in those locations from 6 to 7 o'clock this morning on WBTV. Otherwise, this is mainly just a cold rain as temperatures are well above freezing, upper 30s, low 40s for most of the area. We've seen a lot of rain though, 1 to 2 inches of rain already fallen. We're still seeing more. So a flood advisory has been issued for portions of Mecklenburg County until 7:30 this morning. So here's the big picture. We've got that surface low pressure system continuing to work its way up along the southeast coastline, and that upper level low, that's going to be changing the game for us as we head into the rest of the morning. So there's some dry air, what we'd call a dry slot. You see in those browns and yellows there, just north and east of Atlanta and south and west of Charlotte. So that'll allow for a brief break in that precipitation. But as that upper level low actually works overhead, that's when we could start to see that transition over to snow in the mountains and several other locations. So here's the break in rain that we're expecting around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then eventually that upper level low works overhead. And so you see the snow that'll allow for as we approach late morning, midday hours. So lunch to hours, starting to see that especially out towards Asheville and Boone, with a few showers possible elsewhere, but it's not going to be a washout around the Charlotte metro area in this time frame by the afternoon and evening hours. So there's 4 or 5 o'clock. Could see another quick round of rain as that low works overhead. Still likely snow in the mountains, but we could see a few wet snowflakes mixed in with this. The likelihood of seeing snow in Charlotte, very, very low. It's more so of a possibility. It's a low impossibility at that. We're certainly not expecting accumulations. That's more so going to be for the mountains, where a couple degrees are going to make a big difference in terms of whether we see more ice, whether we see more of that snowfall, but eventually we dry out. So looking at potential snowfall right now, again, limited if any accumulation across the foothills and the Piedmont. This is really going to be a mountain event, as we've been talking about over the course of the past week, and it's going to be those higher elevations that stand the best chance at seeing over 3 inches of snowfall, up to about 6 inches of snowfall, maybe some locally higher totals in those higher elevations. Otherwise, as you go down in elevation, that's where you're going to see those lower totals. Winter storm warning remains in place until midnight tonight for Ashwaubenon, Avery counties. Could also see a little bit of an icing, a glaze of ice, and that's what we're seeing right now in some of those higher elevations, and below 3,500 feet for Caldwell and Burke counties. That's where we have that winter weather advisory in place. Something else to keep in mind outside of the rain, outside of the wintry weather, it's going to be windy today. We already have wind gusts over 30 miles per hour at times. That's going to be the case through the morning hours especially. Winds will die down elsewhere as we get that low to work to the north and east, but as those northwesterly winds come back in, we could see wind gusts over 40 miles per hour in the mountains once again. So it's going to be a windy, cold, rainy, wet day. Live updates on WBTV News from 7 to 8, or from 6 to 7 o'clock this morning, and then in between about 7 and 9, we'll have a couple of opportunities to talk with y'all live there on your streaming devices. I hope you guys have a great morning. Stay safe, and of course, check back in for frequent updates.